first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, we appreciate you joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday starting at 1 o'clock and going throughout the afternoon. And we cover a wide range of topics here on this show. You can check all of those out on the Fox 12 Oregon app. But starting this Monday off, we're actually talking about something you could do on June 17th. Coming up here later this month, the band Spacehog and EMF, both bands are returning to Portland for a show at the Star Theater. We're going to talk all about that right now. Joining us from Spacehog, we've got Royston Langdon here with us. Royston, it's so good to have you here on the show. I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I know, the tour is getting ready to launch, I believe on June 14th, I think is when you head out. So when you're getting ready for something like this, so we're basically just about 2 weeks out, what do you do right now preparing for something like that?
Well, really, I mean, the main thing I think for us as a band is to sort of work out what we want to play. We're fortunate at this point in our career that we've got quite a lot to choose from. We've got quite a few records, so it's really just sort of playing around with how we want it to feel, really, I think. And at this point, given also where we are in the stage of the game, grand scheme wise, as sort of older fellas. But yeah, it's a fine line between stupid and clever on that one, really. And I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. So it's a lot of fun. It's fun to make a sort of a celebration of our work, really, as guys who've known each other for a long time. And got to work with each other and been very fortunate in some respects to have had the sort of the serendipities that have happened over the years that have made it possible for us to still get to play music, at this stage, which is just such a great blessing, really.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Going out there on the road. I mean, what is it about that still draws you to that? After all these years of touring and all the success and everything that you've done, but to still be out there with your buddies playing music in front of fans.
I think, man. I mean, what else am I going to do? You know what I mean? It's like it's sort of musicians, really. It's not necessarily. It's a little bit of a sort of vocational gig in some way, especially these days. The music industry has changed enormously since we were in it. Initially in the '90s, in the mid-'90s, when we sort of started off in the East Village in New York, to now is a very different sort of thing, and especially when you're us and doing what we're doing. So. But for us, I think it's more about, we don't really have anything to prove or any sort of, I feel like we've sort of paid our dues in some respects. And now it's really just about having fun, and as I say, and in a way that's us at this point in our lives, and having those relationships over 30 years is an amazing sort of asset to draw from on that front, because we all have our own unique experience from it, from the experience of being in a band over the years. But we have a collective version of that as well, which is Spacehog, and that's really what's fun about bringing the whole thing together at this point. And somehow I think, it's a little bit more fluid, not quite as sort of, it's a little bit more fluid for us these days, being a bit older, I think, perhaps a little, dare I say, a little bit sort of wiser, hopefully. But yeah, I'm enjoying. So then we're just getting together and playing the songs, in the room together, as we did from, when we formed, as I said, in 1994. It's very similar. There's nothing, nothing has changed really, except a few of the, ailments, but we're all doing pretty well, really. Touch wood, touch wood. Right. We're all good, man, and that's the thing, It's that's the thing. We're healthy guys, and we can get to go and do this. And in some respects, we've all, in different ways, sort of stayed in music. It's never, we've never not done music. I think all of us, in some way or another. One of the guys, the drummer Johnny, has been working as a counselor for quite some time on a professional level. So that's impacted us a little bit because he has a practice and in Oakland, California. So we've sort of been working with that and sort of basing out of there so that he can keep that going, and then also we can get together, at the same time and make sure that we're doing having the time that we need to sort of rehearse really properly.
Yeah.
Putting
it all together. I mean, I'm sure having a counselor on the road doesn't hurt sometimes, I would imagine, but
It's funny. I think he always was that in a way. Looking back on it, it makes perfect sense now. He was wasted in Spacehog, as a drummer.
Well, looking at it, going out on the road like this and getting back out there, when you come to, say, a city like Portland, are there certain things that you look forward to doing or that you plan on doing when you get in there, or is it more play and then, back to the hotel and on to the next one?
Well, it depends, man. And it depends on sort of, in all honesty, how one sort of shows up in that particular moment. And travel is the hard thing on, not to complain because it's a blessing to get to play, but America's a vast country. Jimi Hendrix figured out in 1968, or Chas Chandler, I think, who was his manager from the Animals, that you could tour America in an aeroplane like you could tour London in a car, And but doing it on the road is a little bit, just takes physically longer, so it has that impact. So, but having said that, I don't know, we'll be there and we'll have time, I think. I always love to get to, I remember Portland always seemed to be this first place I sort of experienced sort of streetcar food back quite a long time ago. And don't forget, we've been going there for a long time. We've been playing there. So yeah. And what is it there, isn't it? Is it Adidas?
No. Both them and Nike are both here.
Yeah, and so sort of changed in some ways from how it used to be. These sort of techie cities are starting to happen in this country. And it's changing the thing, I suppose. And it's interesting to sort of be a sort of an observer of these things over the years. I've sort of I'm very grateful to this country. I've lived in this country for quite a long time now, and it's sort of longer than I did, have in the UK. I was 21 when I came to New York, so, it feels good to be doing it.
Yeah, and getting to go and see those different places, and I like that kind of idea as an
exactly,
as well.
And see what's actually happening. Sort of get under the hood of this country, and certain parts of it has always been a thrill. And I think getting out into towns, it's lovely when you have time and you can go to the sort of whatever art museum or something like that, and get off away from the sort of rock and roll vibe, and have something a little bit more subdued. Personally, I like to do that. But it's not always physically possible due to sort of arrival times, and then the show must go on, man, and that time awaits for no man on that front. When the hour cometh, then we're on the stage,
There it is. Wise words.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that absolutely, that totally makes sense. Well, when you talk about just something else here, just to bring it up for Portland, the Portland side of things, since you did mention the food carts, that is still a huge thing here. Is there any particular? Oh yeah, it's huge. Huge.
I dare say it is, because I mean, it's a fabulous industry, isn't it? Really, and some of these are fantastic. I remember having like poutine. I think is that how you say? The Canadian
poutine.
Yeah. It was life affirming.
It is, and there are some good actually poutine carts here in Portland, so we'll get you some recommendations on that. Well, for people out there who are going to come out and see, Spacehog and EMF, they're June 17th, Star Theater. What can they expect from the show?
I think what they can expect, man, is to sort of have the sort of an experience of joy that they might have felt in their youth, perhaps, say in in college and whatnot, and sort of get to the days, perhaps the simpler times, may I say, Greg, you know, where we were less attached to our things and we were more connected in some ways. And I think you're going to get a sort of an experience of two great bands that were EMF are a great band, and they have really been fantastic and put on a great show. They really do. And they've been doing it for a while, you know, and I think the combination of that and the sort of eclectic style of Spacehog is going to take you on a journey. It's going to leave you in a different place to where you arrived, as it were. And I think that's the idea of a rock show, really. My you know, as a fan of seeing my heroes or my, you know, people I love to see, or just, you know, it's always that good feeling coming out, a sort of slightly elevated in some way or another, you know. And I think there's something about people, human beings, just coming together and rocking out, man. That's especially in these times of these dark days of you know, a lot of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that because that's really not what we do. But I don't want to, you know, I want to focus on music and bringing people together rather than you know, than disparate things, you know.
Leave the other stuff at the door.
And I think there's aspects about both our heydays, say, I suppose, in the 90s that were just a bit more free in that respect, and a bit more carefree, I suppose. And I think we're just going to hopefully have a good sort of feeling of a celebration of that. I hope so. But we'll never know. I haven't done it yet.
Well, I think the chances are good. The chances are pretty good. That's what's going to be going on.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. You know, one really needs to be there to. You know, you got to be in it to win it in that regard. So you got to show up. You know.
Well,
but
June 17th.
I think there's a pretty good chance that I'll be there. So.
Well, that's good. That is good. Step one, right there. Well, Royston, thank you, you know, for having time to talk to us too. I really appreciate it. It's good to just have this conversation, and you know, and congrats on going back out there doing what you love, and having this tour and coming to Portland here again. You know, visiting. Yeah. We'll get you some recommendations on places to go if you do have time, and if not, just rock.
I hope so. I hope so, man. I think we will have time. We usually try and build that time into these sort of places that feel good to be in, you know. So I'm pretty sure we have. I would think. So yes, I'm looking forward to being there.
Yeah.
With you all, and hopefully some people come and see us too.
I think that's going to happen. So, Royston, thank you, man. Thanks for joining us. Really, really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Greg. My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We're going to take a quick break. We are live streaming here, but we've got more coming up. We're actually going to be talking about some more events happening. The Goonies weekend, 40th anniversary, is taking place in Astoria. We've got that. Portland is going to be voting on joining the Swimmable Cities Alliance, so plenty more happening. So stick on whatever platform you're watching me on. You can come right back and watch me on there. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.